Hello, arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Tonight, we're going to be doing my 77th Chillin' Chat live on a Sunday evening, talking home arcade with the home arcade community. Hope you guys have had a great week. I've been out now for almost 3 weeks. I was on vacation in Lawton, Nevada at some casinos. I picked up some COVID while I was there playing in some poker tournaments. And I actually won. I played two poker tournaments. I won both of them. So maybe I should be doing more poker tournaments in the future because evidently I can win those. But I did pick up COVID during that trip. And man, it has been a long road of recovery getting back to normal. I've been coughing, hacking up all kinds of like stuff and just, trying to recover, sleep, rest, all that. Finally feel normal again to be able to do these live streams. So I'm happy to be back, and I hope everyone who's in the chat has had a great week. And let's say hi to everybody. Jason was the first one in. He said, hope you had a great week in Biggie D's Arcade, and I hope you're feeling much better. I definitely am. We'll see how tonight goes. Still coughing here and there, but I think I can get through tonight's broadcast without any issues. Pixelated Traveler says, evening. Good to see you, Pixelated Traveler. Steps Gaming, she's saying, welcome back, Biggie D. I've been watching a lot of Steps streams. She's back in the home arcade community again, doing all kinds of content on a lot of the stuff we're going to be discussing tonight. So good to see Steps in the chat. MSU Rich is here. He's saying, what's up? Good to see you, MSU Rich. And Darren Kane as well. Hey, man, it's been a minute. Yes, it has been a couple of streams, Sunday live streams I've missed now. So almost 3 weeks. Since I've been here with you guys. Brent Metz, glad you're better. Good to see you, Brent Metz. And he's also a member of the channel, been a member now for over 1 year. So I certainly appreciate the support, and not only becoming a member, but staying one for that long has really helped our channel grow and be successful. So I appreciate that, Brent. The Garage Gamer is here as well. He's saying, what's up, guys? Good to see Garage Gamer in the chat. I'll be watching his streams on Friday night. They're really late for people on the East Coast because he's in Washington, Oregon area on the West Coast, and they start pretty late. But I've been watching their streams, a lot of console gaming, that kind of discussion. And if you're into that, definitely check them out. But let's go ahead and get into our discussion. I have quite a bit that I wanted to discuss with you guys tonight, so we'll just jump right into it. The first subject is going to be this Media1UP, which kind of took the internet by storm, kind of broke the internet on Monday, Labor Day, when John D announced this Media1UP company. I mean, we knew that he was going to be making this company. We saw him at a trade show recently, but he never like formally announced it or had any promotional material. Well, last Monday on Labor Day, he actually shared with us a promotional video for his company, and that kind of sparked the discussion and got it really going. So let's kind of take a look at this. I've got the audio muted so we can't hear it. But basically, it's just a short 30-second promotional video, kind of, I think, giving us an idea of what games could possibly be coming to whatever he's doing. And that's the big question is, what is he working on behind the scenes? Is this a arcade? Is this a console? Is this... when you say Media1UP, it almost makes you think that it's not a console, it's not arcade. He's like a consulting type company for companies that make these types of products. That's kind of my initial impression from the name of the company, Media1UP, because it doesn't have gaming in the name. It doesn't have arcade in the name. It says media, almost like it's a promotional, like marketing type company that provides like... some type of service, consulting type service is what I'm kind of thinking, initially. But really, no one has much of any idea what this company is or what it's going to be. But let's take a look here online because there is a landing page for some company information I wanted to share with you guys. It's called Media1UP LLC. They're based out of Union City, California. They were established supposedly April 8th, 2024. And so they've been in a company for 5 months now. All good standing. Also says they were formed in Delaware, but the governing agency is California. So looks like it's based out of California in Union City. Here's your address. And here's the agent, John D., the person we know very well, is the owner of this company or creator of this Media1UP LLC. But other than that, we really don't know much about this company other than, what we can find online. And then also John D's been very tight-lipped on what this is. He's kind of given us some hints. We have seen him in the stream. So Monday, Michael B did a stream with 19K Fox, and he was very active in the chat during that stream, kind of dropping some hints like maybe this is geared towards a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 release, talking about want to take a ride. Also, he indicated that it's going to be larger than a 3/4 scale arcade. Kind of drop that. It's not going to be the size of these arcade 1-ups. It actually could be bigger, but he didn't really specify much more than that. So we know it's got something to do with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We know that it's bigger than a 3/4 scale arcade. But again, I don't even know if this product that he's hinting at is even a Media1UP product. It may actually be a product from a separate company that he's helping promote, and then maybe he's consulting for on a to help them with licensing or to help them with the rollout of these products. Number of things he can help with. So I think that's more of where we should be thinking, is that John D isn't actually creating a new arcade company. He's creating like a consultant type company that's going to consult and help these small home arcade type companies create what they've been wanting to bring to market. That's what I think is actually happening. But again, nobody really knows. Nobody has any idea. So it's all speculation at this point. And it's all, we kind of have this information. We got to go with what we think it will be. And that's my initial impression. But it also, with this promotional video, I think it kind of shows to those companies that may want to hire him, what kind of leverage he has in this market. A lot of what we're seeing in this promotional video are licenses that he has already been able to get for Arcade 1-Up, or maybe Capcom, help them with Capcom. That's the type of things that I think companies want to see is, what can he do to help them? And that's what this promotional video is geared towards, is the companies, not us as the customer. Now there was, and before we get into this leak, I kind of want to bring up some of these chats, because I know this discussion's been going on for almost a week now, and I'm interested, and I want to see what some of the others in the chat have to say about this Media1UP, or what they think about it. Jason says, just a few days away from the lag enhancement, waiting for those example videos. Yes, and we're going to be discussing AtGames tonight. We're going to be discussing this lag fix, and I was interested to see, some of the stuff that they're putting out in regards to this before it releases. So we'll discuss that as well, Jason. Steps Gaming says he is doing Cyrus's job, third party though. LOL. Definitely was the Cyrus was John D's apprentice. He taught Cyrus everything he knows, and it's just funny to see now that John D is back in the spotlight, and he's like pretty much a competitor to Cyrus at this point. Garage Gamer says he blocked you, Steps. Talking about Cyrus's email at Arcade1UP kicks back now. Jason says, want to take a ride simply means he's hand coding the new Crazy Taxi for Sega on the back of a napkin. I did see the new Crazy Taxi video that's they're promoting, and they're talking about this new Crazy Taxi game coming out in 2027. I'm really excited about that. I've always loved that game, either it be the Dreamcast version of that game or the arcade. Awesome to see Sega bringing that back. So let's take a look. This is the leak that kind of dropped. I guess this was Thursday or Friday. The Rexer show actually was the first one to break this news, or this leak, did a full video on it. Now, many people believe that this leak is not real. John D has actually come out publicly and said that this is a complete fake, that someone made this up out of nothing and just trying to stir the pot and cause some more controversy here. But it definitely does look like something that he would be working on behind the scenes, because we know how heavily involved he was with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at Arcade 1UP, and how heavily involved he was in the HS5 Dynamo design. To see this, I mean, it definitely looks exactly like what he would want to make, and something that he has experience and is very familiar with already with his experience at Arcade 1UP. And it also makes me think too, or what makes me think this could be real and is not a fake is, you know, Arcade 1UP announced at EVO, not this year, but last year, that HS5 Dynamo design, and Arcade 1UP has not made any other cabinets since then. Just that one Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition HS5 Dynamo is the only one that they've ever made. Never made any others after that, and they've never really promoted that HS5 Deluxe. And then we can only really find that Street Fighter HS5 Deluxe at Spree Trail or Spree Rail. So it's only at one distributor, and you know, you can't buy it directly from Arcade 1UP. So it makes me think that John D has some type of involvement in that design of that HS5 Dynamo, and maybe Arcade 1UP doesn't own the rights to that design. Maybe John D knew that, and that's why he's making his so similar to the one that Arcade 1UP made. And there may not be any more of those from Arcade 1UP. You know, I've actually heard just, you know, through chats and through live streams that there's a possibility that the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the Street Fighter license at Arcade 1UP could be ending at the end of this year, opening that up for other companies. And maybe John D's already acquired that license starting in 2025, because if you see here, it says it'll be available in Q3 2025. So maybe Arcade 1UP's license or rights to that license will end at the end of this year, and it does become available next year. And that's when John D has already acquired that license. So that would also definitely explain why he's saying this is a fake, because he cannot be promoting this. He can't be putting any of this out there, because currently Arcade 1UP still has that home arcade license for these titles, or at least Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Also, so that I think that really kind of explains that this could be real. You know, that this actually is not a fake. He's just saying it's a fake because he has to right now. But it definitely looks real to me from what I can tell. You guys will have to let me know. What do you think? Do you think that this looks like someone made this up at, you know, and just took like a Arcade 1UP HS5 Dynamo and just kind of changed it up a little bit, added the marquees, added the logos on the side, and this is made by someone that's just trying to make a fake? You guys will have to let me know. But I definitely think this is real, even with him coming out publicly saying that it is a fake. I definitely think it is real. And I think this is something they're actively working on behind the scenes right now. So let's take a look at it. It's a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet with pretty much the same exact games list on the one that I have behind me, except for those SNES, War of the Gems, and X-Men Mutant Apocalypse games. The games list is identical. The one on the right is the Street Fighter 3 Third Strike cabinet, having Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and Red Earth. Now that one's very interesting. That's one that we've long wanted Arcade 1UP to bring, is the Street Fighter 3 cabinet. So maybe John D with this new Media1UP is just picking back up right where he left off at Arcade 1UP, and he's going to make that next cabinet that he had planned to make with them, with his new company. And then the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is just one that was never done correctly. It didn't have the rollback. It didn't have the power behind that PCB or that board that was in there to run that game. Maybe he's finally got the hardware to back it up to run that properly. And he's just kind of fixing the wrong with that game and that title. And these are going to be like the first two products that they release. Now, again, I don't think Media1UP is going to release these games. I think it's going to be some other company that he is overseeing this and consulting for. So let's take a look here at some of the chats that have come in. I know Steps, for one, she's been really heavily involved in discussions on these, very interested in this topic. So I know she's got some things to say. Andy's Game Room says, hey, Biggie D, good to see you, Andy's Game Room. Darren Kane says, John D was a huge champion of mine when I worked at Arcade OneUp, always rooting for him. And I'm glad you brought that up, Darren. I think there's a lot of fans of not Arcade OneUp, but of John D, and would like to see what he's doing and where he's taking this. But also on the other side of the spectrum, on the other side of the coin, there's other people that feel negatively about John D. Like I saw Glenn's Retro Show in the chat on Monday, and there was a lot of back and forth between John and Glenn because there's been a big fallout between those two where Arcade OneUp really did, Glenn dirty, and he feels like John D was behind all that. So there's a lot that John D has to prove, I think, to certain people, not all of us, but certain people that just aren't big fans of his. He's going to have to really prove himself and hopefully earn their forgiveness. Same goes with not only Glenn, but, just that whole thing with the whole giveaway, right? The Arcade OneUp giveaway that UAG, Your Average Gamer, ran. And many believe that John D was behind that giveaway and that rigged giveaway. So there's a lot that he has to overcome and has to pretty much, prove to people that he can be trustworthy and responsible and, worthy of our funds and our money to buy stuff from him, because a lot of people just flat out don't like him. So that's the other end of the thing. There's a lot of us that are fans, myself included, but a lot of people that don't like John D. And then we got the Garage Gamer. He's saying, I'm going to take you guys for a ride when the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection comes out next week. Cannot wait for that MVC Fighting Collection to hit stores, or to actually, I'm going to get the digital copy coming out on September 12th, which is just about a week away. I'm going to be getting that on Nintendo Switch, so I can't wait to get that game and start playing online with you guys. I checked my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet tonight just to see if anyone was online. Nobody on Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is online. There were some Marvel vs. Capcom people in the lobby for that game, but nobody, not a single person for MVC 2. Steps Gaming says the MVC collection already downloaded on her Nintendo Switch. I'll be getting it on, what day is that? Thursday when it releases. Gramps Arcade is here. He says people are going to want something new if John D is going to be involved. These are essentially repeats of already previously released games, and that's a good point. We're not getting anything new except for those Third Strike, Second Impact, Street Fighter 3, Red Earth. Those would be new titles. Now, something that is really nice about these fighting games and Arcade OneUp, what they've done is they brought the online ability to play online. Are these cabinets going to have online? That we do not know. I've been hearing reports that these will not have ability for people across the country, across the world to play online. That'll be like a peer-to-peer type network where you'll have to know someone and invite them in to be able to play online. So we'll see where that goes. And that's one drawback, and that's one thing that, a Media1UP or a new company is going to have to deal with, is they're not going to have the infrastructure or the ability to bring online to these games like Arcade OneUp was. Mike Cockhurts is here. He's saying, good evening, everyone. Good to see you, Mike Cockhurts. He says, cool to see potential new products, but any future Capcom fighting cabinet will require crossover play with console editions of Capcom collections, or it'll be dead on arrival. Good point. And then Step says someone photoshopped this up to get people talking, whether it was Media1UP fans or haters, but the Rexer video backfired. It helped them. And that's true too. I've been hearing that is if these were fakes, it ended up helping John and at least got the discussion going, because there's more to discuss in regards to this company now that we have this leak. Garage Gamer says, the next flyer I made for Media1UP, I'll do a better job. I saw you say that same thing in Fox's chat. Made me laugh. Yeah, who knows? You know, we really don't know who made this, if it's real or not. I guess time will tell. But my initial impressions are this is real. This is something he's actually working on. He just can't publicly say that. He has to deny it for certain reasons. Shotgun Sean's here saying, Jason with his drinks. Good to see you, Shotgun Sean. And Mike Hawkert says, I have physical editions of all the upcoming Capcom and SNK collections pre-ordered for consoles. I'm going to only pay additional for the Steam versions to be able to access those on day one. So I'll be getting MVC Fighting Collection digital copy on the Switch on September 12th. And I may buy a physical copy for my Xbox when that arrives next year. All right. So another thing that I was thinking too, and kind of brought me back to last year when I was discussing some of this stuff, is this Actioncade. Because I had some discussions with John right after he left Arcade1Up. Right after. He gave me actually a bunch of information that I shared with you guys over streams over the course of several weeks after that. But this was one of the slides I'd made at that time. And I found it interesting. This was that Actioncade, if you guys remember this. Control panel for your phone, tablet with free iOS, Android download to access games. Action arcade controllers and accessories that control gameplay on downloaded game apps from iOS and Android game controllers, wireless game controller, target price under 150. Basically, bring your own phone or your own device. You hook the controllers up to it and download a whole library of arcade games to it. And I thought that this was something that Arcade1Up was going to move on because they had gotten the license or the trademark for this name, but they never made it. It never happened. And I remember John D specifically telling me to think Actioncade, that Arcade1Up would be making an Actioncade. And that never happened. So maybe the Actioncade is now available since they never moved on it. Or maybe there's a time period in which that'll expire where John D can move on that idea. And I think this is something to keep on your radar as well, guys, for this Media1UP company, is not only just this leak, but also a potential product like the Actioncade, probably not called Actioncade, probably called something different, but a similar idea for them to bring, like we have our cell phone, you know, and we hook a controller up to the cell phone that they own, that they made, and that gives us access to a library of arcade games. And maybe this promotional video that we're seeing here are actually the titles that are going to be available on this Actioncade that they would be making. So that's another thing too to think about. It's not just the arcades that they could be bringing, but this potential product as well. Garage Gamer says, I'm curious what the trophy list will be on PlayStation. And Steps Gaming says, Biggie D, did you disclose that you have a personal relationship with John D? We don't want anyone making videos or causing you grief. So yeah, like I said, I had some inside knowledge of some of the things that John D shared with me, but that was towards the end, right at the point in which he left Arcade1Up. So that's been quite a while now. And I remember him saying that he would pop back up around CES 2024, and that was in January. So that was 9 months ago that he said he was going to come back, and he's just now coming back to this scene or this home arcade community with something exciting. So it's taken a lot longer than he initially anticipated, but it actually is happening now. So all very exciting stuff. Even though I do feel like, John D had done some things in the past that I didn't agree with, or I don't promote or want to promote, which is what he did to Glenn and Glenn's retro show and how they treated him. But also, how he ran that giveaway with UAG. Those things are things I would like to distance myself from. But also, on the other hand, I want to give John D another chance. I want to, always give people other chances, especially if I feel like they've changed. And that, I think, could be the case with John, is he's learned from his mistakes. This is a new opportunity for him. And I hope to see something different in regards to those subjects, to not see that stuff happen again. So this will be something I think everyone in the home arcade community is going to be, looking at. They're going to be following. They're going to be interested in knowing what is happening. But really right now, we don't know. No one really knows what this is because he's been so vague in his answers and what he's been sharing that, it's just really hints that he's dropping. So we can only guess as to what this actually is and what he's creating right now. I have reached out to John to see if he would want to come on as a guest on this show. And he did say maybe at some point in the future. He did respond to me pretty much immediately. He said he couldn't do it right now, but maybe at some point in the future he will. So I think he's open to that idea. And maybe we can learn more from him on this channel, on this show, that he hasn't already, shared with everyone. So very cool stuff. Definitely interested to see where this goes. And it will definitely be something that I'm going to continue to discuss. But let's get into some Arcade OneUp news. So Arcade OneUp hasn't released anything new. We don't have any new cabinets. We don't have anything exciting from them. But we do have some things that we can discuss tonight. So the first thing that I wanted to bring up is this affiliate program. So I think this news initially broke from James Hates Everything. I want to definitely give him credit because he's the first person I heard talk about this. And basically it's a influencer program, kind of like what AtGames has. Most major gaming companies will have some type of influencer program where they'll give information to these influencers to make their content with. So whether that be news, whether that be, things that they could be working on behind the scenes that could be coming soon, or that could be promotional material like graphics, videos, things like that that can help them make that content. These programs are really good for those creators because it helps them do their job and get that information out to you guys. So this is something I think Arcade OneUp has long lacked, is like an official, real program like this, rather than, it just being a buddy system where whoever kisses the most ass gets the most, stuff for their channel. Very different with this, where this is kind of even across the board. Everyone can apply for it. Everyone will probably have an equal opportunity or chance to become part of this program. So let's take a look at it here. Basically anyone can apply for it. There is no, requirements. Now, one of the things I think most people have taken note to are these like under 50,000 followers. So they're basically kind of starting with your follower count. And they want, I guess, obviously to see you have more than 50,000. Now it says under 50,000 is an option you can select. So I think you may still be considered, but they're kind of setting the bar pretty high with saying you need 50,000, I think, to really be considered, is what I'm taking from this. And I've heard a lot of discussion tonight about it on 19K Fox. I think I heard the Super Game Room dudes talk about this on Friday night, where a lot of the home arcade creators, the people that are in this home arcade community that really follow Arcade OneUp, are really interested in what they're doing. We don't have that amount of subscribers. The closest one that I can think of is Michael B at about like 33,000, I think. So he's just, barely over halfway there. And he's the largest in the community. Now, we do have other big creators that come into this community sometimes to discuss things with us. They'll be on live streams, but they don't really associate their content with Arcade 1UP. Some people that I would say is going to be like Retro Ralph would be one of those. I doubt Retro Ralph has much, if any, interest in doing this again with them. And then I heard RGT85 come up. You know, he came on my channel. We did a whole live stream, very successful live stream with him. It seemed like he still has a lot of interest in Arcade 1UP. He still has a lot of opinions about the company. You know, maybe he is a possible creator that could land into this if he had interest. I don't think he does, though. You know, we've not heard him say that. But if he did, I think that would be a very good fit, you know, because he's got 500,000 subscribers. Some others that I could think of would be that'd be about it. You know, there's not really many major big time YouTube creators out there, channels that even discuss Arcade 1UP at all. So this is going to be hard for them, I think, to find people that are truly interested in this. But where they brought this, and they kind of brought this out, was at a expo in Dallas, actually, my hometown, last weekend. And it was called the, what was it? The Vid Summit 2024. And they were heavily promoting that there, really starting this program there. And there was Mr. Beast was there. Huge, I mean, the biggest of the biggest YouTube content creators on YouTube were there. And I think that's really who they're after. They feel like Arcade 1UP, they feel like to get themselves to the next level, they're going to have to partner with someone like Mr. Beast to really get themselves to that next level. I think that's what they're thinking with this. And we'll see where this goes. I mean, I'd like to see them, if they're not able to get those larger channels to come on board, maybe open this up to some smaller creators to, you know, help them, you know, get these products out to the masses and to help get this information out to the masses, because that can also help some of the smaller channels, like myself included, get to those higher levels and to those higher subscriber counts. You know, you got to start somewhere. So maybe pick the ones that you think are the best fit, even if they don't fit your criteria. You know, maybe they could get there with a little help. Step says cupping Glenn's Tron stick was bogus on Arcade 1UP's part. Yeah, that was one of the big things that I think was falling out for them, was them stealing, you know, his designs for like that Tron stick. She also says no one qualifies for that, LOL. Maybe John Hancock, RGT. Haven't seen John Hancock talk about Arcade 1UP. Maybe he has. One thing I find interesting about this is lately, I used to just watch Arcade 1UP content, home arcade content on YouTube. But lately I've been watching a lot of larger creators, really just because I got into that RGT85 interview and I started watching more of his stuff. He speaks about all kinds of like gaming channels and things like that. So I started branching off and watching some of these other channels, thinking like, how did they become so successful? What are they doing differently than some of us in this community to make themselves so successful? And I really can't I still after watching these people cannot answer that question. But I've been interested to see, you know, who these people are and what these channels are about. But some of the really big ones, and I'm not going to name them because some of these channels are very controversial and I don't want to bring that into this live stream tonight. But I'll tell you, there's channels with millions of subscribers that have huge Arcade 1UP collections. Believe it or not, they have huge collections of Arcade 1UPs. They just don't talk about them. They don't discuss them on their channels. Some of them even have some Arcade 1UPs behind them in their streams, and they'll have like 10,000 people watching, and they'll have an Arcade 1UP behind them, just like I have one behind me tonight. So, you know, it's interesting to see that, because I feel like even some of these channels I've reached out to say, hey, would you want to come on my channel? let's talk about these Arcade 1-Ups because I see that you own them. I'd like to get your input on what's happening, what you think's going to happen, things like that. Still haven't been able to bring those massive, huge channels into this live stream or a live stream like this tonight. But it could happen in the future. Darren Kane says, in 2020, I proposed a real affiliate program, will trackable links that would pay money for referred DTC e-com sales. But Arcade 1-Up has since totally retracted from DTC. Interesting. Okay. So just for everyone to know, Darren used to work at Arcade 1-Up. He no longer does. But he at one point did. So he has a lot of really good information on the company and what was happening around that time. Steps Gaming says the issue is that I don't think any of the same people are working there. And the people that do work there don't care about Arcade 1-Ups. Definitely get that feeling that these are not true arcade enthusiasts that work at Arcade 1-Up anymore. That really it's just like a job for them. It's not a passion. That's the sense I get. Jason says the follower count. This is a job for Scott the Waz. And that's another name. So good for bringing that up, Jason, because one of his biggest videos, or probably the biggest Arcade 1-Up video to ever hit YouTube, was made by Scott. I'm sure Arcade 1-Up would love to see his application come through. Absolutely. But on the other end does Scott really want to spend a lot of time talking about this stuff when most of his followers, the people that watch him, probably aren't interested in that stuff? Mike Hawkins says RGT would be excited for a good product. Everyone should be excited for a good product. And Darren also says, I would have loved to manage both a true affiliate program and a loyalty program to build the DTC business. But they basically never got serious about DTC e-com. And another thing, too, I want to note, on these larger channels, these larger YouTube channels that potentially may have some experience with Arcade 1-Up, maybe owns some of these that could potentially come in and help Arcade 1-Up in the way that they want to see. Are they going to be willing or wanting to talk about this stuff, even if they're in the affiliate program? And it almost be like it would cost them money or success on their channel for them to change it up and to change their content. I feel it because like a lot of these larger channels, believe it or not, they're into like drama content. They're gaming channels, but they're not really gaming channels. They very rarely talk about gaming. They more so like to talk about each other and talk negatively about each other. They like to bring up things that people they think people want to watch, which is drama. Unfortunately, that's what I've been seeing. So I don't think the answer is for Arcade 1-Up to be doing it this way. I think what they should be focused on are trying to find channels like myself, many others in this home arcade community that are true enthusiasts or have proven that they've been over the years, and help those channels grow by giving them a chance. I think that's the better option or the better way of handling this. And they may be forced into that too, because they may not get the amount of applications they want to see. They may not get, the right feedback that they wanted or thought they were going to get from this. So they may kind of be forced into that situation. Maybe they will eventually have to lower their standard or what their criteria are. Jason's saying, knowing them, they'll probably end up giving us a collab cab with Mr. Beast Monster Energy drinks. I would love to see that though. Let, for instance, Mr. Beast. What if they were to partner with him? I think it would really help the home arcade product, like the community in general. It would help bring bigger products that we want to see. Because the more people that hear about it, the more people that become fans of it, makes it more likely that we get to see. Because I think that's kind of been a limiting factor to why a lot of the stuff we speculated on over the years, things we wanted to see never happened, is there just wasn't enough support for it. There wasn't enough money coming in to support those ideas. And the only way to get there is to get more people on board. The only way to get more people on board is to get these like larger influencers, for instance, Mr. Beast, to start talking about this stuff. Because there's probably millions of people out there that may love this stuff, but they've never been introduced to it. Brooklyn Menace is here. He says, "What's up, Biggie D? Good to see you." Israel Gaming is here. He says, "Yo, what I miss my arcade brothers, and hello, Biggie D and everyone." Yes, definitely good to be back, Israel Gaming. Good to see you in the chat. It's been a long 2-3 weeks since I've been out. It feels like an eternity when on YouTube when you take a couple weeks off. It's like feels like a long period of time because the internet moves so fast and the subjects just come and go so quickly that something I would have covered a couple weeks ago isn't even relevant anymore. Devastator Omega says, "I think the writing's on the wall for Arcade OneUp. They need to get top licensed brands. And finally, go Cowboys." Yeah, the Cowboys had a huge win today. I got a chance to watch that. All the slides we're going to be looking at tonight, I actually finished up before the Cowboy game started. So I actually got to watch the entire game, and I was very impressed in how well they played. But I also think that has a lot to do with the Cleveland Browns and that they're just not ready for this season. Wait till we play a team like the Eagles, and we'll see how well the Cowboys are or how good they are this year. We play some true competition. I just don't think Cleveland is a big competitor this year. But it is nice to have a win, and it's very nice to be 1-0. Also, Longhorns had a huge win. I'm wearing my Longhorns jersey tonight because they beat Michigan handily on Saturday. And some are saying that Texas is going to be a real competitor for the national championship this year. And I hope so. Darren Kane says, "I worked there from February of 2020 to May 2022, at which time I left for another offer. I'm a Gen Xer and a fanboy, and I grew up with all this stuff, and I love it." Ray's in the chat. He's saying the Browns have a good defense. So maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. Maybe the Cowboys just had a really big win today. But maybe the Browns are better than I think they are. I'll tell you, I was in Cleveland around this time last year at the Cleveland Gaming Classic. And that area of the country is beautiful this time of year. And I love where their stadium's built right there by downtown. Just watching the game today made me think I'd love to go to like a September or an October Browns game and see a football game there. All right, so I want to look next at this because they were at this Vid Summit 2024, and it looks like they're still doing a lot of these like collab type cabs. I think this is absolutely hideous in the way it looks. It is definitely that MK2 cabinet design with this artwork for VidMart, for Vid Summit. So they specially made these for this expo last weekend. And I guess they had these on display there to kind of show these off. But not much more to discuss on this because, I mean, these were probably made for just the event. I don't even know if these are available to purchase. I think these were specifically just made for that event. But cool to see what they're working on.
Costco just brought in
now this
golf arcade.
Is interesting. So before I started the stream tonight, I wanted to go to the Arcade OneUp Instagram because they're always dropping new Instagram reels, and interesting sometimes to see some of the stuff that they drop. But this one really stuck out to me. This is their most recent video. I think this just hit a day or two ago, and they're trying to promote this new Costco Midway Golden Tee that P-Dubs and I went and saw a couple weeks ago at Costco. But the thing that stuck out to me immediately was the fact that it's a video promoting the Midway Golden Tee cabinet, but they're actually including two different cabinets in there. They're really sneaky about this too, because they're not saying it in the Instagram reel. They're just basically leading people to believe that this is one cabinet, but it in fact is two different cabinets. This isn't even an XL. This is the Golden Tee 3D Deluxe cabinet in the same reel as the Midway Golden Tee XL that's at Costco. So very poorly done, I thought. and no explanation at all, basically leading people to believe that these are the same cabinet when in fact they're two totally different cabinets. And I saw this comment from Jim Pacers fan. He's in our community. He says, "Be aware." He's letting everyone notice, or posting this notice. "Be aware. 2 different arcade cabinets are shown here. Only the first arcade cabinet is available at Costco." So he's pretty much doing arcades cleanup and letting everyone know the facts. You cannot get this Golden T3D Deluxe at Costco. You actually are seeing 2 different cabinets on here. So just, that very poorly done, I thought. And obviously they're leading people to believe that this is the same cabinet when easy to see it's 2 different. So let's listen to this real quick. It's just like a quick 15 seconds.
Golf arcade system that not only brings back so many memories, but helps with my golf game during the off season. It has a ton of different classic games available, including the famous Golden Tee. Arcade OneUp has a few different options available, and they're all must-haves. Hurry up to Costco and grab yours today. You can also purchase other arcades directly on their website as well.
So their marketing team, I don't think they have a real good grasp on their own products even. They're just kind of like throwing this stuff out there on the internet with not much thought, and it's very poorly done, and it's not. I think the way they should be doing it, and I think people are taking notice. Like us true fans, our true enthusiasts, are taking notice and making these types of comments. So just interesting to point out. And Brooklyn Menace says, "Appreciate you being on tonight. I have something good to listen to on my drive home from Ohio. I saw Brooklyn Menace was at Pastimes Arcade today with a good group of guys from our community all hanging out at Pastime Arcade. And I actually thought about you, Brooklyn, when I saw that Facebook post of you guys, because I was like, how far of a drive is it from, I think you're in New Jersey, right? Or New York. It's like a 6-hour drive to Ohio. So it's pretty good distance there to get out there. But it looked like it was worth it. I definitely want to check out Pastime Arcades. When we were in Cleveland last year, it was something we wanted to do, was go out there and check it out. It's just quite a bit of a drive from Cleveland to there even. But it is on my list of places that I want to check out. I'll be checking out Galloping Ghost this year, but maybe next year I can get into this Pastime Arcades. Maybe we can get a big group together to go. I'd love to do that. Jason saying, "Be safe on the road, bro." Definitely. Be safe. Just have the audio going. And we'll see you when you get home. All right. So let's get into some AtGames news, guys. So AtGames has got a lot going on. Haven't heard a lot of discussion about them. A lot of reason why is like they've kind of moved on from a lot of the creators in our space. So like P-Dubs kind of has like, I don't want to call him out on this, but he does have kind of a little bit of a negative attitude toward AtGames. So we don't get a lot of discussion from him or news from him. But we do from a few people. Like if you guys ever check out Arcade Talk on Thursday nights, T. McCloskey and Papa Brad, they're probably like the #1 AtGames channel right now. They're always, their whole stream is dedicated to AtGames from start to finish now. It's all they talk about for 2-3 hours. So a lot of the information I get is from watching them. Really good stuff. Also, they got Tampa Tech, who works for AtGames now, is making a lot of AtGames content, as well as Wagner's Tech Talk. Wagner's Tech Talk is someone you're going to have on your radar if you want to know what AtGames is doing, because he's going to have the exclusive on all the stuff we're about to talk about right now. Basically, he's going to probably be the first one to put out videos on this stuff. So it'll be definitely things that I'll be watching here over the next few weeks, and let's discuss now. So I'll start with this Star Trek only because it's going on right now, and it's going to end tomorrow on September 9th at 10 a.m. So you still have the rest of tonight and tomorrow morning until 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's 1 p.m. Eastern to take advantage of these Star Trek deals. They're not incredible deals, but it is nice to see any type of savings. They're calling this the Star Trek Pinball Party Celebration. And you're going to get your Star Trek pinball pack for $12.75, normally $15. And then the Star Trek Next Generation, $12.75, normally $15. A lot of people are saying, even with the savings, don't go out and buy these right now, because you're almost rewarding AtGames for tables that still have significant issues with flipper lag and graphics and things like that. Very significant issues still are present on these tables. So even with the savings, a lot in the community are commenting on this stuff saying, still not the right time to buy. Wait until they fix this stuff, then buy it. Even if you have to pay full price later, you're not rewarding them for bad work, essentially. And then $13.99 for the Star Trek FX Legends 4K pinball table. That's only $100 off. But the Star Trek, of the line of skins that they currently have, the Star Trek's my favorite. So like if everything was fixed right now and I was in my new place, you guys probably already know I'm moving in March. So a lot of the reason why I'm not moving on these tables right now or getting a 4K pinball is because I'm going to be moving soon. But if I was in my new place, I may be seriously considering getting this Star Trek pinball at $13.99 right now. So I think this is a good deal. It's something to definitely be, considering. But again, we're still got the flipper lag issues, which we're about to get into. So it's probably not best to move right now. Maybe wait a few more weeks till they get it fixed. Let's see the results of those fixes. And then if we have to pay $100 more, or what is it, $2.25 more for the pack, not a big deal. So if you guys are Star Trek fans, that is going on right now. Also talking about T. McCloskey Arcade Talk. There's the link for it, guys. Go check him out. Go subscribe. He just got over 1,000 subscribers. Big milestone for him. And gave away a bunch of stuff last stream if you guys were there. Steps Gaming says the 4KP looks great in person, but their pricing model and FOMO tiered sales turn me off. Definitely hear that. So let's take a look at this calendar. So they're doing their calendar a little bit differently now. I think it is a little bit easier to understand and read the way they have it set up here now. So we're on the 8th. We're looking at starting the week of the 9th. I think Wednesday's the big day. So this is kind of the day when we had P-Dubs on the channel a few weeks ago. They had just dropped the news about these new flipper lag fixes or updates that are going to be coming in different waves. And that news had just dropped. We're 3 weeks removed from that stream, and that has not hit yet. That is actually going to start on Thursday, the 12th. So at 9 a.m. Pacific, they're going to have the Wave 1 lag improvement. And the Wave 1 lag improvement is for one table, and that's going to be the Addams Family. So the way they're doing the waves is based on the release date of each table. So being that the Addams Family was the first 4K pinball table to release, they're going to improve and fix the lag on that one first. That's going to drop this coming Thursday. So I think things are going to get really interesting for AtGames fans, for potential buyers for these products come Thursday, because everyone's going to be sitting and waiting at 9 a.m. to watch Wagner's Tech Talk video on this flipper lag, because he's got it down now where he can time the flipper lag to an exact millisecond. And we're going to be able to compare what the Addams Family was running at before the fix and what it's going to run at after the fix. And I think everyone's going to be tuned in on Thursday to that video to see what the final result is. And if it's not perfect, I think everyone's going to still be really upset. If it's improved, that's great, but I think people are still going to be upset. They're going to be like, well, why is it not perfect? That's what people want to see. So fingers crossed. I'm really hoping that they do it right, they get it fixed, and it's just unnoticeable, completely unnoticeable as far as the flipper lag come this Thursday on the Addams Family. Also, there's some other big things on this calendar as well. On Thursday the 12th, it says New Zen Studios Universal Classics Pinball Mini Pack is going to be available for release, or it'll be available for download on Thursday the 12th. Some big things on this calendar are going to be Wednesday, September 18th. New AtGames Legends 4K pinball machine announcement. So this is going to actually be a new skin. We've long waited for a new skin. Many people have said the ones that they want to see. Back to the Future is a big one. I think Knight Rider was a big one of the ones that are out there. Also, Creature from the Black Lagoon. T. McCloskey wants to see Creature from the Black Lagoon get made. I think that would be an excellent one. That table has amazing artwork. It's classic artwork. If they do the original pinball cabinet artwork on the Creature for the Black Lagoon for AtGames, I think that would be a huge seller. A lot of nostalgia there for that game. But I think if they're going after the masses, they're going after, brand recognition and, the biggest license that they can get onto one of their skins, I think they need to go with Back to the Future. And I did a stream several months ago where I talked about Back to the Future skin for AtGames. It was the one I wanted to see them do next. And hopefully on the 18th, so a little over a week from now, we'll know what that skin is. And for us that have waited all this time, we could really get rewarded on this one and get the skin we wanted. And also what's interesting about the new skins and what they've done in the past is they've offered these at like $11.99 for like the first week of pre-orders when they do a new skin. So we could actually get a really good deal on one of these, hopefully starting next week, the 18th. We may have like a pre-order window where we get these for $11.99. And it'll be very hard for me not to move on that because I'd love to do that. And I think financially I could probably work that now, whereas a month or two ago I probably couldn't. But like I've paid off my car. I also shopped my car insurance. I went from Liberty Mutual to Geico. And, they have those commercials, save 50% on your car insurance. They were able to actually do that. And they freed up like $200 a month for me. So between my car payment and my car insurance being so much lower, I'm bringing in a lot of extra money every month, expendable income now, where like I could actually realistically buy one of these now. So if it weren't for my move coming up, I would probably buy one here next week if it's the right skin and it's a good deal. It's like $11.99, and it'll still even be hard to not do it. We'll see how it goes. Maybe the FOMO will really get me on the 18th. So on the 19th, we've got the Legends 4K Flipper Friends tournament. Not too interested in these tournaments right now because I don't own an AtGames, but I know for you guys out there that do, these are big events for you guys and big community events, bringing a lot of people together. So I love that. And then so Wave 2 Flipper Lag improvements on the 19th. So the following week, they're going to do their Wave 2. And then the week after that, on the 26th, they're going to do Wave 3 in September. And then also the 26th is a big day as well because finally the AtGames Natural History Pack 2 is coming out. So this has long been delayed. It was supposed to come out a couple of months ago, but they delayed it because they wanted it to be perfect and they weren't happy with the lag, I guess. So it sounds like they finally got that worked out, and it's going to release on the 26th. And that's their in-house Natural History Pinball Pack 2 that'll be coming. And that's also, I believe, available for the HD devices as well. So for you AtGames HD pinball owners, the 26th is a big day for you guys if you're interested in that pack. So let's take a look here. These are going to be the waves and how they're going to break down for each one. So starting on the 12th here in just a few days is Wave 1. That's going to be your Addams Family pack for the Flipper Lag fix. Wave 2 is going to be your Snoopy owners out there, or the people that purchased that table. Also, Wave 2 included in that same one is going to be your Star Trek, and then your Star Trek The Next Generation, and then the Attack from Mars, all happening on the 19th. So Snoopy, Star Trek, Attack from Mars, all coming the 19th. Then on the 26th, the following week, the last week that we'll see a flipper lag in September fix is going to be Twilight Zone, which, I've heard Twilight Zone is the best running table right now of all the Zen tables. Probably needs very little improvement on that one, but they've even got a fix for that table. So that'll even play better on the 26th. Also World Cup Soccer and your DreamWorks Pinball. And then on the 12th, which is not long at all now, just we're talking less than a week, the Universal Pack will come out. And I believe this Universal Pack does not need a fix. I believe it's already got the improvements already in on that one. So if you purchase it on the 12th, I think that one's ready to go. You guys will have to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that one's ready to go with the improvements right out the gate on the 12th. So next week, guys, or I guess we could say it's Sunday if that's this week, so that this coming Thursday, this week, you can get the Addams Family and you can get the Universal Pinball Pack, and they should play perfect or near perfect, supposedly. We'll see. We'll see what the result is, because I'm still very interested to find out how improved these actually are. Or is there still a need for more improvement going forward? We'll see. I hope for AtGames' sake that it is perfect, though, because I think that's what's holding a lot of people back right now, is they want to be proven that they can actually fix this. And if they can do that, I think you're going to see a lot more people moving on these and a lot more people joining the 4K pinball community. So going into October, they've already released the waves for October, so we'll run through these. October the 3rd, you're going to have the Gearbox Pinball, the Garfield Pinball, and the My Little Pony. That's going to be called Wave 4. Wave 5, which is going to be October 10th, we're looking at Godzilla versus Kong. Great one I would be very highly interested in getting is the Godzilla versus Kong, as well as the Jurassic World. Those improvements are coming on the 10th of October. And then they've got a number of new releases coming as well. In October, you're going to get the Williams Pinball Monsters Pack, the Thing Pinball. So Monsters will come on the 2nd of October. The Thing, which is a Pinball M table, will come on October 16th. Chucky's Killer Pinball, another Pinball M table. That will be coming on October 23rd, right before Halloween. I think that's awesome. Hopefully they got something special for the week of Halloween for that. And then the Universal Classics, TV Classics on October 30th in the month of October. So a lot going on right now with AtGames. And it's kind of over the last few weeks, they announced it, and we've just kind of been on a waiting period. But starting this week on Thursday, it's all going to begin with the Addams Family and the release of the Universal Classics Pinball. Very cool stuff, guys. Andy's Game Room says, same here. I'd get the Trek also. Jason says 6 more months. Look forward to your thoughts on all the 2025 tables. He also says really good chance it'll be a spooky theme for an October launch. I've been hearing that. I actually heard Rascal, who works for them, who does a stream on Tuesday nights, kind of hint at the possibility that, he didn't flat out say it, but kind of hinted at maybe the Chucky Pinball will be the skin that they are going to announce here on the 18th. And then maybe it releases on the 23rd, right before Halloween, and they do kind of like a Halloween theme for all that. Ray is saying, I can't wait to see the improvements they made on these tables. Definitely can't. And also, Ray has sent me photos. He's got a Creature from the Black Lagoon. So he can't wait to play Creature on his ALP 4K. But he's got a themed pinball for Creature from the Black Lagoon. All right, so let's take a look, guys, here at the AtGames website. I just want to see if anything new. Normally, they don't update the website too often, so I'm not really seeing much new on here right now, except for what we discussed early on with AtGames, which is this Star Trek pinball party celebration that's going on right now, where you're getting the $100 off the 4K Star Trek, and you're getting just a little bit off these pinball packs. Not much, only 15% off those. All right, guys. So next I want to get into Stern Pinball. So a lot of the Stern Pinball, or the opportunities I get to play these tables, are when I go to the local arcade bars, where I can, actually get a chance to get hands-on with these. I don't own one. Probably won't be owning any Stern Pinballs in the near future unless I win the lottery or something. But these are definitely fun to follow, and they're fun to learn about, because when I do go to the pinball arcades locally here, I want to know what I want to play and what I want to look for when I get there. Ray also says Buy Stuff Arcade is the best. But this is the Uncanny X-Men. So they announced this week, and I was really interested in this. Not only am I a huge X-Men fan, grew up really loving the comic books, but I've always enjoyed like the Zen Marvel pinball tables. So it's always cool to see when Stern does like a Marvel themed pinball. I love the Deadpool. I love the Avengers. A lot of people don't like that Avengers one, but I love it. And just early on when they announced this, they had done like a teaser for it. And they had announced that Zombie Yeti was going to be doing the artwork. And he's done artwork for a lot of the big pinball tables I like Foo Fighters, Avengers, many other of the bands, musicians that have pinball tables. He's done the artwork for those, for Stern. And my initial impression when I heard Zombie Yeti would be doing the artwork for X-Men, I wasn't too high on that, because I was like thinking a lot of your tables are starting to look the same now. There's not much variance between the tables, because there's like a specific type of look that Zombie Yeti has with this artwork. He does the comic book characters really well, like on Avengers and Deadpool, and Venom. He did Venom as well, where the comic book characters look really good, but they're not accurate to the comic books. It's his own style, and it's very different than what we see in the comic books. And I just thought, if you're going to do X-Men, why not branch off, get a different artist, or maybe even hire in like a real Marvel artist who worked on the comic books to do your artwork for X-Men, just to kind of make it look a little bit different, give you a little bit of variety, right? You don't want them to all look the same. So I was kind of unsure, or a little bit unhappy when I heard they were bringing in Zombie Yeti again to do X-Men, because that teaser didn't really show much of the artwork. So it was just initial impressions, initial thought was, I didn't know if I liked that idea. But boy, was I wrong. I finally saw the X-Men a few days later when they had actually released the promotional video for the table, where we got to see it close up. And man, was I wrong. He did an excellent, incredible job with this artwork. And even though you can tell it's his artwork, he did do the comic books right. I think he did do X-Men right, in that he made it as close as possible to the comic books, while also still using his own style. So I was very impressed, and I totally backtracked on my original thought, and actually never shared that thought on stream or on my channel. But, personally, when I saw this, I was like totally, complete 180 on my thought process with this. I thought he did an extremely good job, and I was actually very impressed and very happy that they went with Zombie Yeti again, because he did such an incredible job. So let's take a look at this thing. Even though these prices are well out of our price range in the home arcade community, I think, to buy these, I think we can still appreciate these tables for what they are. And then if you guys ever do go to the arcade bars, things like that, to go play these, it's nice to know what you're going to be walking up to and what you may want to look for when you play these in the arcade. So let's just kind of take a look. This is what they call the limited edition, and they're going to be doing X-Men Days of Future Past in that theme and that comic book, for the story of what's going on and when you play. But just looking at this left-hand side, Thought incredible job. Days of Future Past cover there on the left side. And this limited edition, keep in mind, guys, is $13,000. So it's extremely expensive to get the limited edition. And that one, I think, by far looks the best, too. Also giving you that X-Men logo and the speakers there. And each one, so you have the Pro, you have the Premium, and you have the limited edition. They all offer something a little bit different in the way it looks and what you're going to get. But just an incredible looking pinball table. It's also offset. So normally it's like right down the middle, and you'll have your left and right flipper just right there, right down the middle. They kind of offset that to the right, giving you an additional flipper on the left side. So that's really interesting in that this is completely different than a lot of their other tables, being that it's going to offer you completely different experience as far as the gameplay goes. And I think that's going to go a long way as well, trying something really different. This is Jack Danger. He's the one who is the lead designer on this Uncanny X-Men pinball table. And evidently he's like, he knows exactly what people want to see, because he did an incredible job with this, I thought. And let's take a look at these a little bit more up close. So this is going to be your Pro on the left-hand side for the artwork on that left side. This is going to be your artwork for the Pro on the right side. And here is your play field for the Pro. So you don't have the Wolverine up in the upper left, and you don't have the actual hands coming out either. So you have your, what are these called? Sentinels, X-Men Sentinels. He's got two hands coming out on the Premium and on the limited edition. So we'll see that here in just a moment. And this is the back glass. So I've been following Zombie Yeti on Facebook. I do have a real appreciation for artwork, and big fan of comic books. So I've been following him on Facebook, and he had posted these images to his personal Facebook this week. And these are actually images, good high-res images of the back glass for these tables. So if you're interested in what the Pro back glass is going to look like, this is it. Looks really good, I thought. And what's funny is some people, love like the limited edition. Some people love the Premium, but they like the back glass sometimes most on the Pro. And that seems to happen a lot. So you guys will have to tell me which back glass do you think looks the best. And I think we're kind of in that situation again where I think the LE doesn't have the best looking back glass, but everything else looks incredible. So here is the Premium on the left side. I do like Gambit up close to like where your hands are going to be, especially with the success of Deadpool and Wolverine. I love how they really put an emphasis on Gambit there at the front on the left side, as well as they're on all of them. They're putting a real big emphasis on Wolverine, as they should. I mean, Wolverine's a big seller right now for anything X-Men or anything comic books right now. And they really put a high emphasis on Wolverine on all three models. But it also is dependent on what do you want to see. Like, on the Pro, this kind of looks like everyone kind of gets equal representation. But on the Premium, they're kind of putting emphasis on certain characters, where this one, Gambit, gets a lot of emphasis. And I think the Pro looks great, but the Premium, I think, looks even a little bit better. Also, on the playfield, you're going to get some additional features you're probably going to want, which like I said, those hands coming out for the Sentinel. One of them's like pushing up and bringing down the rail on the left side. And then the hand on the right, which is sitting upside down, kind of flips the ball up. So they actually have function to those hands. And then also the Sentinel head, I've heard, and we'll have to see when this releases. I don't know if the Sentinel head goes down on the Pro. I think it may just be static, where on the Premium and the LE, it actually moves up and down based on the gameplay. So this will all be stuff we'll have to kind of confirm when it releases. And I'm sure there's more experts out there in pinball than me that probably have some of the answers to some of these questions already. But yeah, those are the things that really stick out to me as far as the playfield are the hands and the Wolverine in the upper left. Now here is the back glass for the premium. So looking at the premium, I definitely think this premium back glass looks a little bit better. Cerebro is this head, like the little thing that Professor X puts on his head, gives him those extra powers. Is going to play a big part in the gameplay of this game. And you got a good shot of Magneto there on the lower right, as well as you got a pretty good representation of the villains equal to the heroes on the left side. I like that. I think the premium looks really good. So the premium's coming in at $9,700. It's like if you were planning to spend $7,000 on the Pro, it's almost like you'd want to spend the $2,700 extra to get the premium, not just for the better artwork, but for the additional features on the playfield. And then here is the LE. LE looks incredible as well. It's got more railing, or it's got more of that metal railing along the edges. Also, it's got the color to that as well. You also got that X-Men logo there by the flipper buttons. I also like that the artwork is different on each side on this one. So on the left side, you're getting that Days of Future Past cover. And then on the right side of the cabinet, you're getting a different shot with the X-Men logo. And then you got a big image of Wolverine there on the right side. But again, this one goes way up. When you get into the LE, it's $13,000. So extremely expensive for it. And here is the playfield for the LE. Now, the pinball arcade that I go to here, it's called Player One Arcade in Surprise, Arizona. He gets all the new Stern tables right when they come out. And he normally gets the LE. So I should have an opportunity to play the LE here very soon. And normally when they announce these, they come out very quickly right after that. So I may be able to get hands-on with this, whether it be the premium and their LE. He'll probably get the LE, I imagine. May get to play this as soon as here in just like a couple weeks. And this is the LE back glass. Now, this is one thing I'm not as big of a fan of, is the back glass on the LE compared to the premium. I would much more prefer the premium back glass than I would the LE. That's just personal opinion. Maybe this one really sticks out to you guys. Maybe you guys really like this one. But for me, I'm just premium all the way. But I do like the look. Take away the back glass. The rest of it, I really like the look of the LE. Just think there's quite a bit of wasted space on the back glass for the LE. I still feel like in the upper right, it's missing a lot of characters or artwork that could have gone up there. And again, this is the Uncanny X-Men. So you're going to see that Cyclops is wearing, you can't see the hair in his costume. So some of the costumes are a little different than maybe some of what we think of when we think of the X-Men, because it's the Uncanny X-Men comic that they're basing this off of. But very cool. Probably not going to talk a ton about Stern, here as this releases, but I did want to show that off because I have a huge appreciation for the artwork on this one. Big fan of X-Men, and I definitely will share my thoughts when I get a chance to play it. But it's not going to be something that I'm going to be going out and buying and having in my home. A little bit of Stern news, though, on the home arcade front would be the Jurassic Park Home Edition, which comes in at a price tag of $5,000. I saw is for sale at Costco right now. Some of them have them for as low as $4,800. And I know P-Dubs wants to head up to Costco again soon. Maybe he did that already this weekend, but I may get an opportunity to go out there with him at some point soon. And we can check this Jurassic Park Stern Home Edition hands-on, see what it's all about. At $4,700, probably still way out of a lot of us in our price range of what we can afford. But you never know when these Sterns end up in a Costco at a retail location like that, they can pretty much, I think, name their price. And if they're trying to get these out the door, maybe they lower them down to 3,000 or 2,500. And I think that becomes more realistic for us, or, the average consumer, for them to buy a Stern pinball when it gets into that price range. Like if I was to walk into a Costco and I saw a Stern Jurassic Park and it was 2,500, who knows? Maybe I would buy one, especially once I get in my new place. I'm going to be living in Oklahoma. The cost of living will be much less than what it is here in Arizona. I'll have much more expendable income. Maybe, a Stern pinball might be in my future if they can get these prices down. So that's interesting too, is, the opportunity, I think, for us to get that home edition at a really good deal coming up is a real big possibility. And being a deals channel, a home arcade deals channel, that will be something I'll be extremely excited about and ready to cover. Let's see. So we got some comments coming in on this one. Andy's Game Room says, bringing in Brian would have been a crazy cool, with Austin, of course. And Israel Gaming says that Stern Pinball X-Men machine is so astonishing, extraordinary, uncanny, beautiful. Also says I would have the X-Men 97 on the left side, and I would have X-Men Konami Arcade on the right side, and this beautiful X-Men Stern Pinball right in the middle. And also Israel says, with the artwork all over the walls of the background of X-Men, such a beautiful image. And that is another thing, talking about the artwork, is they have these artwork blades, I guess they call them, on the left side of the play field, on the right side of the play field, on the walls. They're going to have artwork already on those they call them art blades for the LE. Let's see what so it's missing on the premium. That would be something you'd have to do on your own later. But that's, definitely a big increase in price for these extras. And there is a graphic out there. I didn't share it with you guys today because it's so detailed, but it breaks down the different models and what you're getting with each model. So if you guys are interested in that, I may post that on the At Home Arcades website for you guys to read that if you're interested in knowing what you get with each table, to like an exact T as to what it comes with each one or each model. Jason's also saying the LE back glass all the way. He's a really big fan of this one, the one we're looking at here, where I think my favorite is the premium. The Pro would probably be my least favorite. Well, I don't know. I would say actually the LE is my least favorite back glass of the three, surprisingly. I'm really high on the Pro back glass. I love how Wolverine is coming out at you. His claws are coming out at you right towards the middle of that image. And most people want to see mostly Wolverine on these. I think this is a really good one as well. LE is actually my least favorite, I think, back glass. Just that position that Wolverine is in right there in the middle. It's just kind of an awkward position where he's jumping out. I just don't know if I'm a big fan of that. But it's to each your own. Everyone's going to like something a little bit different. Mike Hawkert says, I don't have interest in the Stern tables in my house, as I'm not interested in the maintenance years down the road. I'm all in for a good 4KP announcement and a deal at Nod. Definitely looking forward to these deals that are going to be coming, as well as Nod. National Owners Day is always a good opportunity to get your AtGames products during that time. All right, so I'm going to move on, guys, to New Wave Toys, because I didn't get a chance to talk about this the last couple of weeks because I was out. But I do have my Zoltar still need to do my review on it. It's missing the chain around the neck. I've already decided I'm going to open it up here soon. I was planning on trying to do that this weekend, but I didn't. Probably be doing that this week. Just to get that chain back around his neck, and then I'm going to start my review on it. And I may do a little bit of video on what it looked like before I fixed it, and then also when I'm opening it up, I'll probably film that as well and include that in my review. But I wanted to talk about this Crystal Castles, because we knew that New Wave Toys was going to be releasing Crystal Castles well in advance. I did a stream on this a couple months prior where I had basically said it was going to be Crystal Castles, and that's indeed what it ended up being. And this is the way it looks. Thought they did an incredible job. I knew that they would. I knew it was going to look amazing, and I think they've really delivered on that based on these prototype renders. You know, we haven't actually seen the thing in its entirety yet, but I think from these renders, they really have hit the nail on the head with this one. And it looks really good. In this artwork too, I just think they, you know, went with the right cabinet at the right time, because this is just that really incredible artwork that really stands out. You know, I've got a couple of these so far. I've got the Ghost and Goblins. I've got the Frenzy. And this is just another one I'm going to be able to add to my collection that's much different in the way it appears, the artwork appears, and it'll be a really good collection I'll have going when I add this one. But they're also going to be doing, again, the real arcade trackball stick. So just like we saw with the Golden Tee, they're going to be doing that with Crystal Castles. And is this going to be something they continue to do, where every cabinet Replicade release gets its own control panel? Time will tell. But it appears so far, we're 2 for 2 so far with Golden Tee and now Crystal Castles. This is going to give you a light up trackball. So even though the Golden Tee is going to have less buttons, where you're getting some buttons on the side with the Golden Tee trackball stick standalone game deck, you're not getting those additional buttons with this, but you are getting the light up trackball. And that's something I would really want, is it to be illuminated. So of the two that have been announced so far, Golden Tee and Crystal Castles, if I was going to get the trackball, I think I'd go with the Crystal Castles, just for the artwork and the light up trackball. Now, what's also really interesting is these are interchangeable. So like if I bought Crystal Castles, I could use that trackball on the Golden Tee. Or if I bought Golden Tee, I could use it on the Crystal Castles. So I like that. That you can use it on multiple Replicades. I think that just gives it a more value, more reason to get it, because you can use it with more of these Replicades, not just the one that you're buying it for. Now, they did drop a video this week. This is on the Crystal Castles trackball, the illuminated trackball, if you guys are interested in what that looked like. I dropped a short this week. So let's take a look at it. So this is it. This is little miniature micro trackball. They've been able to fit illumination into it. I think it looks pretty incredible. It looks pretty good. We're also seeing the lighting from the marquee, which I thought looked great, as well as the speakers. So you've got this little like area in the speakers where it's like, it's got like inside, it goes inside the cabinet, and there's lighting within that little enclosure for those speakers. And it looks like they've done a fantastic job with that. We can't get a really good view of it from this video, but you can see the lighting coming off those speakers looks really good. So this is definitely going to be one of their unique Replicades, offering us something truly different. And also with the lighting is going to be very, very illuminated, you know, from the marquee, the speakers, the trackball, all of that. So sitting in a dark room, I think these Replicade, especially this Crystal Castles, is going to look really good in your little miniature diorama, miniature arcade that you're creating. So definitely looking forward to Crystal Castles. Now, it's still a little bit far out as far as the date that these are going to arrive. I think these are pre-sales going on right now, which we still have 14 days left, 20 hours, 32 minutes on this pre-sale. Which is basically, you have a promo code that you can use, which gets you some additional money off, brings it down from $199 to $159. And then if you want to do the whole package deal, it's $349. And I think we're getting 20% off, if I'm right, with the promo code. But yeah, so this is it. $199. $159 with the promo code. There is some shipping cost. Now, something to note, if you guys do the real trackball stick bundle, the shipping goes way up. Been hearing reports of like over $80 for shipping. So that is also something else you have to factor into this, is that shipping costs can get pretty high when you do the bundle deal. I think it's still pretty reasonable if you just do the Replicate by itself, though. Also, they're doing this field test edition where you have like a special edition. This one I'm not too high on. I don't like this like cabaret style wood panel artwork. Not a big fan of that. Some of you guys out there may love that, and you might like the uniqueness of it, being that it is a limited edition, especially for the collector value of it going forward. You know, if you're planning on wanting to collect these for the value of them going up in value, the field test may be the way to go for that. But I would be buying it for its enjoyment and its nostalgia and the way it will look sitting next to me when I'm at work or when I'm just, in my game room. And that's why I would go with the original artwork, because I think this is just one of those cabinets that it had, beautiful, amazing artwork, and wouldn't want to miss out on that getting the field test edition. So this is going on right now, guys. Still got a couple weeks left to get your pre-orders in. But these aren't coming out anytime soon. They're saying Q2 of 2025. So it's probably going to be next summer before these actually come out. And that's one of the things, it's really hard to talk about New Wave toys and say anything negative. But if I was able to say anything negative, or if I could think of anything negative, it would just be the anticipation and the weight of these, where like if I was to pre-order it right now, I'd literally have to wait like half a year, maybe longer, to get this. And that's why I don't like to pre-order a lot of stuff. Everything I've bought from New Wave Toys, I bought and paid full price, just because I'm not wanting to wait real long. I'm not a big fan of that period of having to wait. So I'm okay paying a little bit extra. If it cost me an extra $40, in Q2 of 2025, that's all right with me. But for some of y'all that are looking for savings, you can pre-order now and get that money off. Jason says, oh, that one is LE Pro all the way. Got them mixed up. So he's talking about, he's on the same opinion as me, that he thinks that Pro all the way. So he's all about the Pro. And I think excellent work on the Pro. That back glass looks amazing. So Brooklyn says he pre-ordered the Crystal Castles. That's good to hear. And Israel Gaming says, come on, Biggie D. We all want more Golden Tee. Mike Hawkert says, I have no love for Crystal Castles game, but because they included compatibility with the Golden Tee deck, he'll be pre-ordering. So that's good to hear. We got 2 in the chat tonight that have already pre-ordered or going to be. And Jason says, how big is that trackball on the larger deck, 3-inch? And that is a good question on this. I think it is a 3-inch trackball. Let's see if in here it tells us. But I think it is. My initial thought that it is. But it does not say here, unless I'm missing it. Yeah, it is. GRS Arcade Trackball 3-inch. So this is the exact size of the original. Should play amazing. Should be just like what we would experience on the original Crystal Castles with Glenn's Retro Shows Arcade Trackball bundle. And Andy's Game Room says, if they're a proven company, I'll wait on them. New Wave Toys qualifies there. Mike Cockert says it's the same size trackball as the Golden Tee deck. Only difference is the new one is illuminated. Yeah, and that's the big key for me, is that illuminated trackball. I think that white trackball, I know that's authentic to the Golden Tee. I just, if I'm going to pay the same amount of money, I just feel like I'm getting more for my money with the illuminated one. That's just like my thought. And guys, I'm going to do some closing thoughts tonight. I have a few subjects I wanted to discuss with you guys for this. First is going to be this Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. This is going to be coming out on September the 12th. So it comes out, guys, here in just Thursday, same day that AtGames is releasing their lag fix for the Addams Family. We're also going to be getting Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection for Steam and for Switch and PS4. I'll be getting it on my Switch. I've been looking at arcade fight sticks. Even right before the stream, I was looking at them for my Switch. And I'll share that with you guys right now. Because I think to get the true experience of this fighting collection, you really need to be playing it on arcade controls. You know, playing with a gamepad, I just don't think is the way to go with this. I think we need to get ourselves some arcade sticks for our Switch or our PlayStation or our computer to really get that true experience. So I've been looking at these. They got this one here, this Hori Switch Fighting Stick Mini for $46. I'm really tempted to get this one because it's so low cost. And if it does the job, it does the job. But I'm more so wanting to go double in price, getting this $85 8-bit dough arcade fight stick for the Switch. It'll also work with my computer as well. So if I ever get it for Steam, I can use it for that too. You know, I'm going to go with where the community goes. If there's more people playing MVC on Steam, then I'll play it on Steam. If there's more people playing on Switch, then I'll get it on Switch. Bottom line, I'll probably end up getting versions for both the computer and the Switch. And this 8-bit dough arcade fight stick will work for both. It's $85. I was talking to Brooklyn Menace earlier through chat, asking him about it because he owns the 8-bit dough. And he says, do it. Just pay the extra money, get the 8-bit dough. He highly recommends it. Things I like about it is wireless. So double in price, but it is wireless. I can move it around. And then also it's a bigger game deck. It's got a lot more room for your wrist and your hands. And then also something else I'm probably going to end up doing in the near future, especially if I really get hooked on this MVC collection, is getting one of these Intech gaming decks for the arcade OneUp. Maybe I'll mod my Marvel superheroes, put in the Switch Intech gaming deck in it, and then put my Switch in there and play it on arcade. We'll see. I'm going to start with just the 8-bit dough fight stick, play it in front of my computer or, you know, at my desk. And then if I really get hooked on this, then I'm going to like do a arcade OneUp mod with the Intech gaming deck. But all this stuff's coming up here in the next week. And I've never owned a fight stick. You know, I love my arcade OneUps. I love my iArcade, playing them with arcade controls. So it's surprising that I've never owned a console arcade fight stick before. This will be my first one that I get. This is another one I'm really high on, is this Tatsunoko versus Capcom fight stick for the Wii and Wii U. Been playing a lot of my Wii U the last week, and I'd love to get this title, and I'd love to get this fight stick, but keep in mind, these things are, you know, 10, 15 years old, so you have to buy them used. And most of them, like you're seeing here, are very expensive, $250. So unless I find some incredible deal, that's probably not going to happen. I hope, though, with all these re-releases, we're getting the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. We're about to get the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 next year. I'd love to see this Tatsunoko versus Capcom get re-released on modern consoles as well. So very exciting time for retro gaming, you know, fighters, Capcom fighters, especially right now. Maybe, you know, Mortal Kombat will jump on the bandwagon and do some classic, you know, fighting collections for Mortal Kombat. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe a Killer Instinct in our future. But very exciting time right now for retro gaming. in general, and especially these Capcom fighters with everything going on with this. And this is just right around the corner. We've been talking about this fighting collection for a couple months now, so I'm just really excited to get my hands on and play this. And I'm just hoping that we got a big online community of people that are going to be playing with us. RJ Clark Key, Pincade Rebel says, good morning from Spain, Biggie. Oh, that's awesome. Good to see you. Good morning out there in Spain. And I hope you guys are having a good morning. And Andy's Game Room says, the glowing trackball is great. Looks cool. I have them on the Tempest. He also has it on his Atari 12-in-1. Steps Gaming says that the Mayflash 300 is very affordable and works great on the Switch. I was watching Step stream this week, and she was talking about how she has this Hori Fight Stick Mini. Or no, you have the 300, which is a different model. I guess that's a better model than this Mini. The one I've been looking at is that one. But still shopping these. Looking like I'm going to get the 8-bit dough, though, based on my research. Mike Hawkert says, sucks that it's all multiple physical copies I ordered are going to be so far down the road. I'll get the Steam version in the meantime. I'm huge into physical copies as well. I'm right there with you, Mike Hawkert. I would love to get a physical copy of this. I can't wait, months. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the digital copy because I can get that this week, where physical wouldn't come out until November 22nd. So I just can't wait. Like I was telling you guys about the pre-order, I can't wait on pre-orders with New Wave Toys. Same goes with these games. I even had a hard time, and we're about to talk about Astrobot next, but I even had a hard time waiting just a couple of days for my Astrobot physical copy to get delivered. I was almost tempted to get it digital as well, even just over, 48-hour wait. So Israel Gaming says, Biggie D, I'm so ready to play this. Not even funny, bro. Let me know if you want to be your Nick Fury or Punisher. We can do this together, my friend. Now, I'm glad you brought that up, Israel Gaming, is we're going to have the Punisher on here. We're going to be able to play online. So cannot wait to get online with you guys and play that beat 'em up all the way through. Take you up on that offer, Israel. We'll have to play that together as soon as it comes out, which we don't have to wait long. He said, already got my Marvel Superheroes cabinet ready for the Intech Gaming Nintendo Switch mod all the way. Yeah, and that's a great arcade OneUp to do this with. I love the artwork on Marvel Superheroes, and I just think it fits this fighting collection really well. It's almost like you won't even have to reskin it to use that cabinet. And he says, Biggie D, I just did for this. I also own the X-Men 97 cabinet as well. And Thor KC says, Rams lost after all. Y'all Motor Cityers ought to be happy. And Step says, Mayflash 300 I have and upgraded to Seeing controls. Now, that's another thing is with these, we can upgrade our controls just like we do with our home arcades. With the fight sticks, you can throw in the same buttons and sticks. So I thought that was cool. Now, Astrobot's another game. I'd posted this on a community post right before the stream tonight. My physical copy I ordered from Walmart on Friday. It came today. It was delayed by one day, but I did finally get it today. And I cannot wait. I'm going to jump right into this game as soon as I end the stream tonight. So I cannot wait to start playing it. But I'll also be streaming this game Tuesday night. I'm trying to do a gameplay live stream every Tuesday night. And that's going to start late. It's going to start at like 8 p.m., almost 9 p.m. Pacific time. So for a lot of you guys like on the East Coast, it'll be really late when I start. But it just works for me because I don't have to work until 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday. So just going to make it like part of my schedule to do gameplay live streams every Tuesday night, just as late as I can go. And I'm going to try to do like 2-3 hour long gameplay live streams with you guys if you want to come hang out. I'll be doing Astrobot this coming Tuesday night. We'll be playing this. I'm going to jump into it tonight and tomorrow, so I'll be well into the game when we start Tuesday night. But if you guys are interested in what this game offers, what it looks like, how it plays, we'll get to experience that together live on air. But from what I can tell you from early reviews, this game looks amazing. there are many people out there that are already saying this is game of the year. And I think everyone's pretty much in agreement that Astrobot is like a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 game. It's like an amazing platformer, a lot like Mario 64. If you guys like those 3D Super Mario games, this is PlayStation's version of that. And it looks and plays incredible. Cannot wait to jump into this. Also, they're using the PlayStation licenses. All the games are library games, cameos in this one for those games. Getting like not just the characters, but some of the similar gameplay of those games throughout the years in this one Astrobot game. So very cool. Can't wait to jump into this. Another closing thought was this Joker movie called Folie à Deux, which I initially heard the name of it. I heard Lady Gaga was going to be in it, and then I heard it was going to be a musical. And it's like the more information that came out about this movie, the less and less I felt like I was going to like it. But I still had high hopes for it because I was a really big fan of the first Joker movie, and I thought it was one of DC's best movies they ever made. It was very, bloody. It was very violent, rated R, but it was just an incredible movie, especially at that time when it came out. But now it's been several years since the first one. The second one's coming out next month in October, but early reviews are already out for it, and it's not very good. A lot of people are saying it's just doesn't bring anything new to the movie. They're reusing a lot of what made the first one good, putting it into this one, just reusing those same ideas. Also, a lot of the movie is a musical, so if you're not a fan of the musical aspect of it, you're probably not going to like this movie. And Lady Gaga just didn't bring it in this movie, I'm hearing, like she should have. You know, if she was going to be a big co-star of a movie this big, she really had to bring it. And I just don't think she did with this one. So I just don't think it worked. And that's kind of the result I'm seeing from the early reviews. Now, keep in mind, I haven't seen it yet. I'll still have to, give it my own, I guess, review and what I think of it once I see it. But early on, it's not looking very good. IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. So, and they're typically pretty good. They're known for like 7 out of 10 on everything, even if it is terrible. So for them to give it a 5 out of 10, just not a good sign for this movie. If you're a DC fan or you like that first Joker movie, doesn't look like this one's going to be very good. Also, Pinball Expo is coming up very soon, guys. We're almost 1 month away from the Chicago Pinball Expo, which will be October 15th through the 19th. And I'll be getting there on Thursday, October 17th, a couple of days after the expo starts. I'll be getting in on that Thursday evening. I'm planning on being at the expo all day on Friday, the 18th. So basically getting there when it opens. And these pinball expos go till midnight. So they go on all day, all night. Probably just get as much pinball in as I can on that Friday and try to experience the entire expo on that Friday. And then on Saturday, going to the Galloping Ghost arcade. I also have a rental car, which will be nice. So I'll be able to travel to and from freely as much as I want. But I'll probably spend like the whole day at Galloping Ghost on Saturday. And then I don't fly out till Sunday evening at like 8:30 at night. So I'm thinking of going to a Galloping Ghost pinball on Sunday. They have 2 locations. They have an arcade, and then down the road a little bit, they have the pinball. I'm thinking about doing the arcade all day Saturday, doing the Galloping Ghost pinball all day on Sunday. And that'll pretty much be my trip. Getting in Thursday night, meeting up with as many people as I can Thursday night to maybe go get some dinner and drinks, then spending all day Friday at the Pinball Expo, all day Saturday at Galloping Ghost Arcade, all day Sunday at the Galloping Ghost Pinball Arcade. And Step says, I disagree. IGN does terrible reviews. I've heard that too as well. And but I hope you guys are going to make it to Chicago. One of the big worries I have about the Chicago area is I hear about the high crime and how dangerous dangerous it is around there. So hopefully a lot of us can meet up and we can kind of, do these events or do these locations as groups. So we're not, stuck down a dark alley in Chicago late at night by ourselves. But I'm definitely looking forward to the trip. Just want it to be a safe trip, have a lot of fun, and stick together, as a community when we get there. Steps Gaming says, Biggie, you need to go to Logan's Arcade. So that's another one she says I need to check out as well. Mickey Yoon's in the chat. He says, I may be coming to the Pinball Expo. If I do, I'd love to see you, Biggie D. I'd definitely like to see you, Mickey. As many people that want to come, I hope that you guys all make it. We can all meet up and hang out together and just make it a great week out in Chicago. And that's coming up here in less than a month. So each stream, I'll continue to talk about this and bring it up for people that may not have heard about it or may not have known that we were going. I hope you guys can be included and come to this as well. Steps also says Pinball Expo is a fancy, rich area in the North Burbs. I'm going to be staying by the airport. Actually, my hotel is just right on the other side of the highway from the convention. It's 1 mile from the convention. So my hotel has a shuttle that can take me to and from the convention. And then I will also have a rental car. So if we're going to be heading to other arcades, other bars, restaurants, I'll be able to make those as well. So really looking forward to this trip. I've already got everything paid for. Everything's booked. Kind of had a last minute thing happen this week where I had a hotel room booked with some friends that kind of fell apart at the very end because one friend can't make it. It doesn't look like. Other friends having some issues going on at home financially. So I ended up having to just go get my own hotel room, but I got really lucky. I got 3 nights at a hotel room, 4-star, right across the highway from the expo. And with taxes, everything included, it was only $240 for 3 nights, taxes included. And then I got a rental car because I couldn't really count on, rides from other people. And I didn't want to pay a bunch of money for Ubers everywhere. I actually had collected enough points with Enterprise Rental Car over the years where I got a rental car for $25 for the trip. I just had to pay the taxes on it. I pretty much got the rental car for free. And I got a Toyota Tacoma. So I even got a decent rental truck, like a little truck. So if anyone needs rides, hit me up. I'll be more than willing to pick people up, shuttle people around, as long as we're all staying in a group and doing things together. Step saying airport is a nice area too. Mickey says, is the Marvel Pinball going to be there or is it too early? So that's huge. The X-Men Pinball will most definitely, I think, be at Pinball Expo. I think this X-Men Pinball table may release at Pinball Expo or maybe right before. We may even have an opportunity to play this before Pinball Expo. Like I remember when John Wick came out, Player One Arcade down the street from me had one like the next week in his bar. So I may be able to play X-Men as soon as like next week. We'll see. I don't have exact timing on when it comes out, but I think most definitely it'll be a Pinball Expo. And Mickey's saying great deal for 3 nights. I thought so too. It's a 4-star hotel right there by the expo. $240 for 3 nights. All the taxes, everything included in that price. So there are deals to be had still on hotel rooms, guys. If you're looking, I went to booking.com. That's where I got that deal. But I hope you guys have a good start to your week on Monday morning, guys. I'm glad I was able to make it through this entire stream. I was a little bit worried, like, am I jumping back into this too soon? But I thought it went really well. I went ahead and muted myself when I did have to cough or clear my throat. But it seems like the longer the stream has gone, the more I've talked, the better my voice has gotten. So I think by next Sunday, I should be 100%. And I'll definitely be streaming Tuesday night as well, Astrobot gameplay, if you guys want to check that out and come hang out with me. But it was really good to see everyone in the chat tonight. I hope everyone has had a terrific, excellent weekend. Football was a lot of fun to watch. And glad my Cowboys won. Glad my Longhorns won. And I'll see everyone this upcoming Tuesday night. And you guys have a good start to your week tomorrow morning. And I'll see everyone in the next one. Talk to y'all later, guys. Bye-bye.